Hello everyone, today we are mainly talking about the recipe. So for the first recipe topic, we are mainly divided into four parts of this topic. First is about what is recipe, and the second one, because our HMI recipe mode has two mode, okay. So one is the simple recipe, and another one is advanced recipe. And the last is about the CSV file recipe. So sometimes if user want to edit the recipe file outside the HMI on the PC to modify it, so we can use this CSV file recipe function. So first, what is recipe? So recipe is composed of the multiple sets of the information material with the same structure and the different data. So due to the similarity of this is material, user can edit them into a set of recipe. So sometimes, so for example, the bread, we can using the different ratio of flour and water and sugar, so we can make various type of bread. And also like the drink, for example, if we just add water, so which means it only this type, and or we can add water and sugar to make it as Coca-Cola, something like this. So second one is about our HMI recipe mode. The first one is simple recipe. So same to the other record configuration, we can find it is area edit configuration area on the data tool. So we can edit by and click by this add, and name is group name. For example, my recipe folder is drink, something like this. And how many how many elements for one group and group number. And also we need to set this function address, its star address and the group number. And also if we user want to set some initial value and the element names, so if sometimes user want it. And click save and add exists. Also, if user don't want to address it are continuous, so we can separate by this discontinuous address option. Then if we enable it, then we can make it separate address on the read and write address. If we know enable it, so it will like this. It only, for example, the first address is wait for this GIF running. So the first address is HDW0, so we can see the second one address is HDW1. So they are continuous address. So the next one is about if we want to set up the data format for the specific element, then we can click on the corresponding table cell of this data format this column to edit their data format individually. So next, because we done the configuration of the recipe, then we can go to the HMI screen to drag, edit this record display into the screen. So because this display is not only relative to the recipe, so we need to select the first one option on the drop down list. So you can see and then we need to fill in the address list select line, okay, because my group number ID, this ID address is using the HDW 1001. So if I select in filling the same address on this select line, which means if I click on this table display, then click on the corresponding row on the table, then this group ID will be changed into the same value as this select line. So for example, I click on the second line, so this group ID will be 2. And sometimes because some new users didn't know about our recipe maximum display row is 150 groups. So you will ask about why my recipe only display 50 groups. So at this moment, if we want to display more groups at one time, we need to enable this address control. Okay, enable this address control and set the address of this group. So if we enable this, we can our maximum number of group is 100. Okay. So also if sometimes user want be more for the groups, so we can also to change this stop group address. Then we can display our recipe dynamically. Okay. So after we done the display configuration, and then we need to add our function address into the screen. Because on the previous page, here I'm setting my function address is HDW 1000, and here I also set 1000 on this GIF. So set the different operand value of this word switch, and the name is function. So which means read from the table or write into the table, and or delete on the table. Also, we need to check the corresponding star address. Here is the group ID. Sorry. 1001 is our group ID. And here is because here is the for the star address from HDW0 to HDW150. So that's all about the simple recipe. Okay. So the second point is about another mode of HMI recipe. It is advanced mode. So for the advanced recipe interface, we can see the basic function of this advanced mode is same to the simple mode. Okay, but it is advanced recipe just has more address setting than simple recipe. So the general operation step are also the same. So here we mainly talk about some different setting on the advanced mode. So first part is about this using multiple file. So because for advanced mode we can manage the multi recipe file on one project. So we need to notice that the default recipe file name is 1.rcp2. So this is our file extension name of the recipe file. So we can select the corresponding file according to the file address. And the second one is this one is use index. So normally if we want to read or write the recipe value, we need to trigger the write the function address, right? Read from the table or write to the table. But this one use index, it no need to trick the function address at all. So we just need to set the group ID, then the corresponding element parameter will be directly displayed on this star address of the index. Okay, so it is like something like the quick setting of the recipe. And the next one is about using the independent write address. So sometimes if we want to split the read and write the address individually, then we can set up this address. But usually we rarely to use this one. And the next one is use insert. This one is for if not like the right into the group. If we using the writing into the recipe table, it will modify the original groups. Okay, but if we using insert, which means if the originally on the table this group ID already exists, then it will move to the original group ID to the next one. So like this one, I insert the number one group number one. Then I insert. You can see my new number one is my insert one, but the original number one is to the group number two, and group number two, original group number two is moved to the new group number three, and so on like this. And the last one of the different setting of advanced mode is this query by element. So no longer like the simple recipe. It is using our group ID to query our element, right? This one is using our specific corresponding element to query our groups. Okay, so we must be notice that if we want to using the corresponding element to query our group, we need to ensure that our element data must be unique, otherwise it cannot find the data successfully. So you can see on here, originally on the previous page, my index, I need to change the group ID, right, to query out my corresponding group. So from this GIF you can see that, from this GIF you can see I leave this group ID alone and directly using my element 1, my first parameter, as my query condition. Okay, so you can see I input this 14 or 11. It will query my group number 1, right? And input 14 is querying my group number 4. So it is not using the group ID to query my recipe group, but using this element. So the last part is about the import CSV file. Okay, recipe. So as my previous mention about our recipe extension name is this point rcp2 uh, file format for our HMI recipe. Okay, so this one cannot read by the PC directly, but this function, this CSV file recipe function could let us to modify the recipe file on PC directly, then import our HMI again. So it is another way to another method to convenience the user to use the recipe function. So before we import this CSV file, we need to confirm that our data format of CSV must be consistent with the recipe data format in the project. You can see on my HMI project setting, first one is number, second one also the number, and the third one is the string format, right? And the last one is the floating number. So you can see on my CSV file, I also set up this corresponding the data format. So if it is import failed, we need to check the CSV file whether it's using a comma to separate site is comma. Okay, we can right click the document and open it by notepad to check whether the separate site is comma, because some region it is using semicolon to separate the data, so we need to modify it first. Okay, then it can recognize by the HMI. Then after we verified our file is okay, then we can copy our modified CSV file into the pen drive. So we need to make sure that on our file list, you can see my file list folder path is must be same to the actual USB root path. Okay, so I'm creating the same folder on my pen drive. You can see. So after we insert our pen drive into HMI, then we can click the import CSV. So this one is using my file list and click import. So you can see my CSV data is overwrite into the table. Okay, so we need to notice that it will not insert into the table. It's overwrite. It's to delete the original data on the recipe table. Okay, so this one we need to notice. So about the function adjust, so you can see the equal to corresponding value has corresponding function. So first one equal to 1 is to read from the table, and 2 is to update, it is right to the table, and the fourth one is to insert, and also the last one is 64 is for import CSV recipe. about the detail, you can check our video to review our video from this our YouTube link. And also we have demo, you can download. Okay, so actually if sometimes we need to combine our PLC address, right? So we can directly set up on the group ID and the star address as PLC address. So if we set up, it is like the read from the where I need to recompile it. So if I read from the table, sorry, I need to trigger changing the group ID, read from the table, so which means I read from the table right to the PLC. Okay, so send to the list right to the recipe table. Okay, so which means I want to save the PLC parameter into the table. Okay, so that's all the content I want to present today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.